Hi, everyone. It's Susan Reynolds, your favorite karmic astrologer, and I'm here to talk about the month of April. And if it is April, it is time to talk about Aries. Aries, it is springtime. It is the beginning of things. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And as such, Aries can be a bit competitive. They're the first. They want to win. They want to be out front. It was probably an Aries who quoted that phrase about if you're not the lead dog, the view never changes. That's an Aries. This is a sign that if you were born roughly between March 21st and April 20th, you're an Aries. You are ruled by the planet Mars, and the symbol for your sign is the ram. And that's very apropos because sometimes Aries just kind of rams their way through things. They use that force and they use that muscle, and you know what? They get things done. Aries is not a sign that is going to sit around. Let's talk about this. Let's think about this. Let's ponder on this a little bit. No, that Mars energy comes in and Aries wants to act. Aries is a very action oriented sign. And so, if you know an Aries, if you're the parent of an Aries, if you have a spouse that's an Aries, you know that sometimes they can be just a little bit impulsive. They do that, they rush it, and then they go, oh, wait a minute, maybe I could have done that better. But they do this with such joy, such excitement, such enthusiasm that you forgive them. Oh, it was okay. You didn't mean to do that. They sort of act first, think later. And sometimes this is great. They rush in. The courage of the ram is legendary. These are the firefighters. These are the ones running towards danger. They often get into very dangerous professions. They are firefighters, they're policemen, they're in the military. They often get into professions where they need to use their body in some way or move their body. Very physical sign. Passionate, assertive, they're going to make it happen. And we need people like that. And people like that get us energized to do things. So when you're around in Aries, it's almost like the air crackles. There's a sense of excitement. But Mars is also the planet of anger. And this is the shadow side of Aries. The high side is their legendary courage, their enthusiasm, their leadership. This is a cardinal sign. It's a fire sign and a cardinal sign. So they are out there being wonderful leaders and they inspire people. But the shadow side is anger. That Mars can, their temper can trip them up. They can get angry quickly. But usually with Aries, they get angry quickly and then it blows over. Not like Scorpio. Like they don't usually get angry, but when they do, you better run for the hills because they're not going to let go of it. With Aries, it's usually quick to anger, quick to forgive. So they're not always going to be the ones to hold on to a grudge, but they might be the ones who yell a lot. They're going to, that voice, that big voice of Aries is going to be heard. So this is actually a fun sign because it's so physical. They're good at hiking and camping and walking cross country and getting involved in sports. If you're the parents of an Aries, sign them up for track or swim or whatever, soccer. I don't even know all the sports out there that schools offer. Sign them up because they need to kind of run off some of that excess energy. They're like the little energizer bunnies. They're always going. And yes, they will help you speak up for yourself. They hate injustice. They have a generous heart, loving spirit. Sometimes they can be a little selfish, not because they're greedy. They are not greedy sign, but because they're sometimes a little oblivious. They're not always good at reading subtle cues. Aries is very honest. They say what they mean what they say, and they expect you to do the same thing. And we know that the world does not always do that. So sometimes they need a little help interpreting what's not said and looking underneath the situation. That's not always something that they get immediately. And because of that, they can get their feelings hurt very easily. It's not that they're not a tough little sign, they are, but let's say they're dating somebody and that person doesn't want to hurt their feelings, so they don't tell them they don't have feelings for them, and they see them with somebody else and they're devastated. It would be easier to just tell them the truth. And Aries will tell you the truth. They will say it out loud and they expect you to do the same. And because you can't always do that and they don't always get that back, there's an innocence here, sometimes a bewilderment. Like, why didn't they just tell me? Why didn't they just say that out loud? I would. Why didn't they? So there's sometimes a little naivete associated with Aries. They're not full of subterfuge, and they don't expect you to be full of subterfuge or lies either. So yes, sometimes they can be taken advantage of. Not usually, but it happens from time to time. But this is a sign with great staying power in terms of getting themselves back up on their feet. They can get knocked down, they'll get back up. You knock them down, they'll get back up again. They have that desire to move forward and to make it happen. And they're going to do it with joy, with laughter, with a sense of fun and a sense of excitement. That if you know an Aries, they're going to take you along with them on that journey. So happy birthday, Aries. Have a wonderful April. See you next month.